My name is Sabra Soharwaldi.
Good morning, Sabra.
Hi, Sabra. Well, it's 8:30.
Hi.
It's time to start. Erica?
It is time to start. Welcome everyone to our December elected council meeting. There are many new attendees here today and many I have not personally met. Hope this 2021 brings us back to our normal day of face-to-face elected council meetings so we can all meet and greet in a different, more usual way. But in the meantime, here it is, meeting through Zoom virtually. We have a lot to cover today. And so, and the agenda is full, so I will get started without any further ado. First and foremost, I sent out the minutes to everyone. I know it was a little late in coming. It came yesterday, later in the evening, I think. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Can I then suggest, I guess we can't all speak at the same time. Can I suggest that we go ahead and have this meeting minutes approved during this meeting?
We need a motion and a second. I see two thumbs up.
Can I get a first and a second to?
I saw two thumbs up from Felicity and Carolyn.
Okay, so Carolyn, you are going to approve this, and Felicity has second to move this motion forward to get this minutes approved. So I just need a wave of aye so that I can go ahead and record this as approved.
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much. Minutes have been approved.
You can also use the reaction buttons below to clap or to do a thumbs up or a heart or to cry or even to give a wow.
All right. And maybe two hands if you want to say yay. Thank you very much. The minutes have been approved. We'll get started today, and to get started, we will stick to our tradition of reading the covenant. We will have today Diane Maltasta, Mary Ann Croppa, Dennis Vasco, and Rodney Lemery read the covenant one paragraph at a time, starting with Diane.
Morning. The governing board and the elected council build and provide a sacred environment that will nurture the growth towards a world of interfaith peace. In solidarity with one another, we each affirm our dialogue is an interfaith dialogue. We all have different communication styles and varying views. We commit to be in dialogue with respect for all, expanding, listening to hear multiple points of view.
We realize that we are responsible for the growth of I4C, and each of us shares a duty to interfaith growth. The governing board provides leadership, and the elected council works towards progress and the fulfillment of I4C goals as we grow.
We recognize that we are imbued with interfaith responsibility. As such, we commit to hold ourselves and each other accountable to merit that trust. Respect for the diverse traditions, beliefs, and spiritual paths of all those we encounter. Hold ourselves to the highest ethical standards and accountable for our communities and to I4C.
I believe the last part was mine, but I do not have the words in front of me.
I'll do it for you if that's okay.
Thank you.
Our shared time together is interfaith time. We commit to honoring the start and end times of each time we meet.
Thank you, everyone. We'll get the meeting started. I'm so excited that we have so many new members that are joining us today. First of all, we will introduce our newest members from the Bay Point Gurdwara. Kanwar Singh, are you here today? Can you introduce yourself, please?
My name is Kanwar Singh. I represent Bay Point Sikh Gurdwara. It's a Sikh society of Central Contra Costa County. I'm a member of the management committee and the Supreme Council at the Sikh Temple. We have been, this Gurdwara is in Bay Point since 2009. It's been about 11 years, and we're in the process of getting a new building for the Sikh Temple, likely having a groundbreaking ceremony during sometime in spring, I think. And so we're all excited to be part of the Interfaith Council of Contra Costa County. I thank Erica Baines for giving us an opportunity and getting us a representation in the council. And we're delighted to be part of the group, and we'll do our best to live to the ideals and all the footsteps that have been set up by this council, doing all the great work, doing for all the programs, all the help to the community, help to the needy. So we'll do our bit, and we'll be to be part of the Interfaith Council of Contra Costa County. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanwarji. We are excited you have joined us. Paramveer Singh Sehgal is the next.
Yeah, Paramveer Singh Sehgal is my name, of course. And I go to Gurdwara every Sunday, and I am a Sevadar there. Sevadar means I go and do service like cleaning the shoes, going to the kitchen, cleaning the kitchen, and cleaning the utensils. That's my job over there, and I do it every time. And besides that, you see, I like to be the managing committee or something like this, but that is not the, I do want it. I just want to do seva of the Gurdwara, which is one of the 3 duties Guru Nanak Dev Ji, our founder, has said. He told us that Kirat Kamai, you honest earning is the first thing, then sharing, seva, and meditation. So these 3 things are I was supposed to do. So I would like to do service to human being, or service to Gurdwara means these sanghas, the congregation is there, I look after them. So this is my job.
Thank you very much, Paramjit Singh. Gursharan Singh Gill was supposed to be joining us, but he is caught up. Gursharan Singh, have you joined us today? He said he had another engagement.
Joining a little later, and I think he'll have some remarks and reflections also. I believe so. Yeah.
Thank you, Kanwar Singh. Yeah, he did tell me that he was going to be running late, and he may not be able to join us until much later.
And Erica, I just want to point out that the Bay Point Sikh Gurdwara is helping with some of the Christmas gifts for the people inside the Mountain View shelter. Is that right? Through iCare? Is that right, Terry?
Yeah, in fact, more than helping, they bought gifts of either gift cards or clothing for 14 of the 15 adults and children for Shelter Inc. And so I want to especially thank Kanwar Singh for that, leading that project. Thank you so much.
This is sign language for clapping.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Also, we have Meg Keeley from Grace Presbyterian, just outside of Rossville, who's also been on the iChange committee for a while. She has actually agreed to join the elected council in place of Biff Barnard, who we'll hear from next. But can we get you to introduce yourself, Meg, quickly?
Sure. Hi, it's nice to see all of you. I don't quite know what to say other than my husband and I moved to California about 10 years ago, and from Pennsylvania, and we are members of Grace Presbyterian, and I'm also a threshold singer, and I'm on the iChange committee, and that's very exciting for me to be working on that. I'm also a member of Surge, and a couple other things I can't think of right now. But anyway, it's very nice to meet all of you and to be here.
Welcome, Meg.
Thank you.
We're excited to have you join us, but we're a little sad to watch Biff go, knowing that his portfolio is expanding at URI, our partners there, and we're a cooperation circle of URI.
So we have Biff Barnard who's leaving us. Biff, do you want to say a little goodbye? Not that we want to hear it, but.
Sure. As Will said, I4C is a cooperation circle of the United Religions Initiative, URI, where I'm the Director of Institutional Advancement. And it's been a real honor and treat for me to serve on the elected council and the governing board for a period of time to help me understand how URI cooperation circles work and their issues. It's been a treat for me. I hope to continue attending EC meetings. I'm just so impressed with the work that this organization does, the difference you're making in the community. And we're very proud at URI to have I4C as a cooperation circle. As Will said, our URI has almost 1,100 cooperation circles in 110 countries around the world, and most of the Bay Area interfaith councils are URI cooperation circles. And we encompass about 1 million volunteers serving about 50 million people a year. I had to resign because our executive director of 7 years, Victor Kazanjian, who spoke at the annual meeting, has just announced after 7 years that he's going to retire. And I'm going to be very involved in sort of the transition, deciding what our needs are for executive director for the next 10 years and being part of the transition. So that was a high priority for me, and I regret having to pass on my responsibilities at I4C. But it's been a treat getting to know you all. I look forward to continuing to work with you as I can. Thank you so much.
I just want to thank you, Biff, for all of your support and over these last several years. And it's been a real joy to work with you. And I've so appreciated your encouragement to move us to the next level. And I hope we're moving in that direction. Thanks in large part to your support.
Thank you, Biff, so much.
Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you, Biff. We'll miss you, and thank you for offering to come. We will definitely need your wisdom and help, seeing us through at least this year and many years ahead, and hope to work with URI as well with you.
Thank you very much. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Biff. We'll miss you.
And stay around. You don't have to leave us so quickly.
I've got another meeting momentarily, but thanks very much.
Okay, good luck to you. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll get started with our faith reflection. There are a lot of holy celebrations coming up this coming December. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Today, being a Sikh, I'd just like to say Happy Guru Purab to everyone. This marks the 551 years of celebration of the birth of Guru Nanak, and also Guru Purab actually is not just celebrating one's existence or coming to earth, but also Guru Nanak's coming to earth, but also the philosophies and the principles of Guru Nanak, who was the founder of the Sikhism, who basically had this one nice message that we all need to come together on some common grounds. And some of the common grounds, Paramveer Singh ji here has already said, the 3 principles of living, simple stuff like, working hard, honest living, including also service to others, and of course, meditation or meditating on the name of God. Would anyone, Paramveer or Kanwar, like to say a few words on Guru Purab?
Paramveer ji, do you want to say a few words?
Yeah.
Okay.
As Erika has already spoken, that Sikhism was founded by Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj in Punjab, part of India in 15th century CE. Subsequently led by succession of 9 gurus. 10th guru is Guru Gobind Singh. That is the 10th guru, and Sikhism is a monotheistic religion. God is one, and that is the basic principle of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. he said that God is Ekonkar. Ekonkar means God is one. And Guru Granth Sahib is the first word which starts with is Ekonkar. That means God is one. And we have a Mool Mantra, which says, which is the gist of Guru Granth Sahib. And it says that God is one and we have to do our duty. And like I said, Alion said, Kirat Kamai, that we should have to work very hard and make the earning. And then we have to share it. And then after that, we have to do this seva of the mankind. We have to do seva, look after the people, and whatever earning we have to share. Not only the earning, it is a time which we have, that also we have to share with people so that we can look after everybody. And as per our religion, we have to abandon 5 things. That is like on the top is lust. Number 2 is anger. Number 3 is covetousness and greed. And 4th is detachment. And 5th is pride. If we leave these things, we can go towards the path of God. We can meet God also if we follow these 5 things. Like I said, lust, anger, greed, detachment, and pride. And you see that Sikhism, one thing is very important with Sikhism, which I think nobody preached before Guru Nanak Dev Ji, that everybody is equal. Even you see today we talk of a woman uplifting. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said that time, 550 years back, that women and men are equal, they have equal rights. In the many countries, woman is treated as a second-class citizen. And you see, in India also it is like this, but this has been preached 550 years back. And in do you know that in America also, women got, you see, this voting right in the year 1920 only, whereas our gurus have been preaching about equality since then. So I think every religion has got, all the religions have got good points. Nobody has bad points. And our religion also have its plus thing. And as a matter of fact, you see, the Langar Seva in Amritsar, I think half of the city, not half, 1/4 of the city has their lunch, langar, every day in Harmandir Sahib. And every Gurdwara follows their same spirit. And you go to any Gurdwara, you'll find that our langar is always open. Everybody will be given food 24 hours a day. So this is what exactly, I don't know much about it, but this is what I know, a little bit of it. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Paramveer. Thank you very much for that sharing. And langar basically means free food, or coming together of people of all different backgrounds sitting and eating together. And the food services, actually in Golden Temple, 100,000 people are fed on a daily basis. How they do it, it's amazing. If someone ever wants to get, if anyone has a chance to go there to experience it, it's amazing. We'll move on to various reports. We are not going to present any of those reports today in light of the time we have today, especially we have a community update, and we want to make sure we allow enough time for that. But we have our iChange report that was attached in the agenda. You can look at that. Margaret Niles has done a summary report for us. Our social Justice Alliance report is also included. Please take a look at that. Dennis Vasco, thank you very much for providing us with that report. And Terry Moss has provided us with the iCare summary report for anyone who wants to read that. Also, I think for the financial report, we do not have the report. We will have that probably for the next meeting. But Will McCarthy has some financial appeal, I suppose, finances and appeal that he wants to make.
Well, I just wanted to update everyone to let everyone know that we did do our fall appeal, and that money was coming in a little slower than in years past, and that might be because of the pandemic, and that people aren't going into their church offices as much as they used to. So if you are able to talk to the people in your own congregation to remind them that we are in need of donations before the end of the year, and if your fiscal year goes from January to December, this really is the time that we would love to have your donation. If your fiscal year is more July to June, we understand that you might be doing your gift to us later in the year. But we are going to do an email appeal, end of year appeal, especially to all of those who haven't given yet. And if you haven't been able to give a gift yet this year, we sure encourage you to do so before the end of the year, knowing that we do need your help, and that our giving has been down both with individuals and with congregations. We're trying to fill that gap with some grants, and Carolyn McKenzie was able to get a grant from the San Francisco Foundation to help us with some of our eye care work. But we really need to be able to have undesignated gifts to be able to help us survive as an agency. And I know that a lot of congregations and other agencies are feeling the pressure these days as well. But we hope that our work as the convener in the faith community and helpers during COVID-19 really enables folks in our faith community to recognize the unique role that we play in our need, especially during the pandemic. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the community update. Every month, we would like to present a quick community program that's going out there, and so the community can become aware of the program. Today, Will, would you introduce who our speaker is and what the update is going to be about?
Yeah, Rob Tufel is the CEO and Executive Director of Cancer Support Community, which is an agency here in Walnut Creek and Antioch. And Rob, I think I've given you permission to do the share screen. And the one other thing that I forgot to mention in my brief report was that we did have a matching gift of $6,000 from our governing board, and that was met. And we're so grateful for all of the folks in the community who have helped us meet that matching gift donation campaign. Thank you so much. And Rob is a member of the Jewish community and leader of this cancer support community. He started right before the pandemic started. So we hope to hear more about this fascinating and really life-saving agency that has served people in my congregation really well. So we're glad to have him share today.
Great. Thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it. It's really important for us to reach out to faith-based communities. I can talk about that a little bit later. Also, I just want to make sure how much time I have so I don't take too much time from your meeting, and I'm conscious of the length of the presentation.
We can get it done.
Line 10.
About 10 minutes, that'd be great.
Perfect. That would be good. We can absolutely do that. So really just wanted to talk about, just to put in context what cancer is, who's impacted, what are some of the emotional issues, and what are some of the resources that are available, and how cancer support community plays a role. And I just want to say that in many, many communities, people turn to, as you all know, people turn to their faith-based communities before they turn to mental health professionals. I read a study recently that showed among Latino women who were depressed, most of them went to their priest rather than go to a mental health therapist. So you all play an incredibly important role in connecting people to resources in the community, and we have lots of different resources. And also I have a couple of quizzes in here just to keep you awake, because I know it's early in the morning. So I'll be throwing out some questions as I go through the presentation as well. First question, so what is cancer? Look at the answers: abnormal cells that divide without control, cells that invade other tissues, one single disease. If you said Diseases in which abnormal cells divide without control and are able to invade other tissues. You were correct. That, I believe, is a lung cancer cell. And basically, cancer cell is like a car with that the accelerator is always on and the brake has been taken off. They just grow and grow and grow, and they can invade other tissues. But as we know, cancer is not one disease. You can see just looking at breast cancer, colon, colorectal, lung, and prostate, which are some of the more prevalent cancers, you can see there's really a big difference between the number of people who get different kind of cancers. For example, with brain tumors, there were 100 different types of brain cancer. So it's a very complicated disease, even though it starts at its root, it's really just a cell growing out of control. Also, we know that cancers, and you all know this too, ethnicity plays a role in cancer. You can see the rates of breast cancer. This is just breast cancer. You can see the differences in rates between Native Americans or Blacks or Caucasians. So it's, once again, a very complicated disease in terms of who it affects and how it affects people. And of course, there are cancer disparities. We know that Black, Native American communities really suffer more from cancer in terms of higher morbidity rates and lower rates of survival due to a lot of obvious reasons: systemic racism, discrimination, poverty, lack of health insurance, mistrust of doctors. All those things play into the disparities we see in healthcare. And of course, we see that in COVID-19. It's really been spotlighted, I think, in a way, and throughout the whole country. We've seen these disparities in healthcare. But what's also interesting to me is it's not just only about ethnicities, it's also about poverty. A recent study just came out and showed that people experiencing persistent poverty, no matter what their ethnicity was, are more likely to die from cancer. And I'm sure that's not a surprise. And interestingly to me, most counties with persistent poverty are clustered in the southeastern United States. But certainly in East Contra Costa County and other parts of the Bay Area, we certainly have a very high cost of living, and we have people who are struggling. So what somebody earns per year really impacts on how they do with their cancer. So who gets cancer? Mainly children. We hear a lot about pediatric cancer, mainly people over 50, men more than women, or people who live in northern countries. So think about that one for a second. And the answer is really people over the age of 55. 80% of all cancers are diagnosed in people ages 55 and plus. Cancer is a disease of aging. There are more opportunities as we get older for cell cycle to go wrong, either because of environmental factors or just because our cells are dividing all the time. There's more probability of something going wrong in the process. And of course, cancer is also more prevalent among men than women. And it's very different in children, but really only about 1% to 2% of cancers are among children. And I put in that last answer about people in northern countries because, a strange fact, actually multiple sclerosis is more prevalent in northern countries. The farther you get away from the equator, the higher the incidence of multiple sclerosis. I just found that a fascinating fact. People don't know why. It's not related to cancer, but it's just a strange fact. So how many people are diagnosed with cancer every hour? Every hour in the United States? You think it's 10,000, 200, or 20? Well, in the United States, we know that there are about 1.8 million new cancer cases yearly. And what that translates into is about 200 people an hour. So by the time this meeting ends, even during COVID-19, cancer doesn't stop. 200 people in this country will have been diagnosed with cancer. And we know that almost 17 million people have a history of cancer. So if it feels like everybody knows somebody who has cancer, who's been impacted by cancer, or if you've had cancer yourself, there's a reason for that. It's an incredibly prevalent disease. It's an incredibly old disease. There are 2,000 years ago in Egypt, they found papyrus writings where they described a woman with breast cancer. So this is an incredibly old disease as well. California, we know there are 20 new cases every hour of every single day. And just to talk a little bit about progress. So I think a lot of times you hear we aren't making progress or cancer hasn't really changed. So are deaths decreasing? Is survival increasing? Is that true or false? We have made incredible progress in cancer. Cancer is really becoming more of a chronic illness, but these numbers really stick out to me. In the 1930s, survivorship was 1 in 5. Today, it's 3 in 5. Of course, once again, that varies because we know that cancer is not just one disease. So between brain tumors or breast cancer, there may be a difference in survivorship, but that's incredible progress. And I should say, you know, that really struck me, in the United States, every day, 1,600 people die from cancer. I was thinking about that as I'm listening to the death reports from COVID. I think COVID, we're up to about 2,200 deaths a day, something like that, which has surpassed cancer. That's pretty remarkable to me. And for a virus we didn't even know about a year ago, and it's surpassed cancer now in the terms of the number of people it's killing every day. So you probably hear this all the time when people come to you, some of the emotional issues facing cancer patients and their families. Things like anxiety, depression, financial toxicity, pain, fatigue, all of the above, as you can imagine. And really, research has shown us that there are 3 major stressors. This is important, I think, when you're meeting with people who have cancer: isolation or feelings of loneliness. And you can imagine how that has been exacerbated during this pandemic. You talk about cancer as a disease of aging. So there's already isolation among older adults. Cancer causes isolation. We have the pandemic. We've seen anecdotally increased reports of depression among cancer patients during this pandemic. Of course, loss of control and loss of hope. I heard a physician say, an oncologist tell me, which I really loved, that cancer patients are always hoping for something, but what they hope for changes. So when you're first diagnosed, you hope for treatment, you hope for a cure. At the end of your journey, at the end of your cancer journey, people hope for a death that's free from pain and suffering. So even at the end, I think there's always hope, even though people can feel a loss of hope throughout the experience. So some issues facing patients, as I mentioned: body image from surgery, fatigue is a really big one, pain, distress, depression we talked about. Cognitive issues. Chemo brain was not considered a thing 20 years ago, but certainly it's been recognized by the medical profession that people may survive their cancer, but the chemotherapy has an impact on their cognition. I talked about financial stress. Financial toxicity is something we are seeing, especially right now, but even prior to COVID, the cost of cancer is incredible. Some drugs cost up to $10,000 a month. And if we look at cancer more and more as a chronic illness, people are taking those drugs for a long time. Certainly anxiety, PTSD, and also spiritual crises. I remember when I started going to oncology conferences about 20 years ago, social work conferences, people weren't talking about spirituality. It was sort of a forbidden topic, I would say. But gradually you started hearing more and more about spiritual oncology because, of course, when someone's facing a life-threatening issue, they often have a spiritual crisis. They turn away from God, they turn toward God, and it's become more and more of a recognized thing that this is also part of our healing, how somebody spiritually deals with this illness. And once again, you're the experts. I'm sure you hear this all the time. There was a survey done by the cancer support community nationally. We're part of a national organization. We have 39 affiliates across the country. And if you look at the causes for concern, eating, nutrition, and coping with feelings are 2 of the top concerns. For cancer patients, those don't often get addressed by the medical profession. And I will talk more about that too. I just like this cartoon, financial toxicity. It says your coverage suggests it will spread rapidly to your wallet. As I mentioned, some drugs cost $10,000 a month. So cancer is also a family disease, as you know. We say when the patient is diagnosed, the whole family is diagnosed because relationships are impacted, your finances are impacted, children are impacted. Whoever is in that family will be impacted by the diagnosis. In fact, sometimes we only see the caregiver. We don't see the patient come in to get services from us. So really, when we look at how we address the non-medical needs, we have to take a holistic look. The radiation and the surgery and the chemotherapy is really only one part of a person's health. We also have to look at their spirituality, their social connections, their psychological health. And really, that's the way we can provide complete cancer care. So Cancer Support Community does that. We have been around for 30 years in the community. Our mission is to support people facing cancer in our community become healthier, live longer, and live better. And we do that by providing a wide range of integrative care, things like counseling, support groups, nutrition, exercise, all those other things to complement the medical care that people are getting. And we offer everything at no cost. Here are just some of the examples. You can go on our website, www.cancersupport.net, to get more information. And I think also I sent Will around a little card which has more information. We also have services in Spanish. We have an office, our main office is in Walnut Creek. Of course, that has been closed since the pandemic. So we are providing all of our programs virtually, which has been really interesting. We say we love our center. It's fantastic, except if you can't get here, then it's not so good. The providing programs virtually has really addressed that issue. It's if people can't get here because of transportation, or they're just not feeling well that morning, or they're experiencing fatigue, now people can participate in our programs. We opened up an office in Antioch last January, believe it or not, and we were set to have a giant opening launch the day before shelter in place. So that did not happen. So we still have the office, we're still renting it. Of course, nobody's going there, but we will resume operations as soon as this pandemic is over, and I can't wait for this pandemic to be over. So why is it important to get this care? It's not just that it feels good, it can really help people's get to their treatment. It reduces things like depression, stress, anxiety, and pain, which we know impact the immune system, helps people sleep. It can manage things like pain and nausea. Guided imagery is an incredibly effective way of managing pain. Post-surgery can even help for some people to reduce the bleeding. And it also helps people regain control. I mentioned that loss of control is one of the things that really affects people. And support services improve overall the health-related quality of life, and they are recommended by physicians, by the Institutes of Medicine. We see some hospitals offering these type of services, but really a lot of patients don't want to go to hospitals to get these kind of services. They really want to go to a more neutral location. Excuse me, that's my phone ringing if you can hear it. And for more information, you can go to cancersupport.net, or you can call our number, you can email us, you can email me directly. And really, we so appreciate your helping to get the word out. No one should have to face cancer alone. That's really our motto. And we do these presentations and reach out to people to let them know about our services. So when you meet someone who has cancer, you have a place and a resource you can go to. Happy to take any questions, or you can email me after the presentation as well.
Rob, Carolyn was wondering
yeah.
if we can get a copy of the presentation, and I saved it as a PDF. Is it okay if I put a PDF in the chat room?
You absolutely can. That would be great. I'd appreciate that.
Okay, I also put the virtual postcard that I emailed everyone in there, and I copied and pasted parts of your presentation into the chat room if people want to copy and paste it there too.
Good. Will, you are the most organized person I think I have ever met. That's fantastic. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Rob Tufel. Yes, Will, what a valuable asset you are to all of us. Anyone has any questions for Rob today?
This is Dale. I have a question. I've often thought of cancer as one disease, but many different types. Breast cancer, prostate cancer, but you're saying that, I heard you say cancer is many diseases. Can you distinguish the difference?
Sure, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. At its root, cancer is one disease. Like, as I mentioned, it's the cell growing out of control. Mm-hmm. But really, it manifests itself in so many different ways, which is why I refer to it as more than one disease. The way you treat prostate cancer is not the way you would treat breast cancer, and the effects of those two cancers are very different. Even as I mentioned within brain tumors, you have 100 different types. Just having a brain tumor doesn't mean there's one treatment you get. So in practice, it's really like many different diseases. People sometimes have more than one cancer too, and they get treated very differently. So that's what I meant by talking about it. It's more than one disease. It's a complex, very complex disease.
Thank you.
Rob, is there a way for people to send you questions? Will you stick around, maybe look at chat group to see if someone has some questions. for
Sure,
you.
and I put my email down there, so feel free to email me any questions you have as well. Happy to answer those questions, and then if I don't know the answer, I can send you in the right direction. So feel free to do that as well. And also any congregants, members you have, you can refer them directly to me or have them call too. Happy to answer questions.
And I'll just mention that we've been receiving your newsletters in my congregation since for the last 10 or 11 years, since one of the members of my congregation found you very helpful. And we've been putting them out, and if people can ask to get some of the newsletters to put in their congregational space to learn more and share more about the programs offered.
Thank you, Will. If you want to be on our mailing list and you want to receive the calendar, we have a hard copy. Just email me your information and I can put you on our email list, and send me your snail mail address too, and I can make sure to send you some calendars when they come out as well. We send them out every 2 months by both email, and they're on our website, and we have hard copies as well. Everything we do is free, Felicity. Everything is free. We never charge. And I forgot to add one thing. We did set up during COVID-19, in addition to going virtual, we also have an emergency financial assistance program for low-income cancer patients. Referral has to come through a social worker or a doctor or some licensed health professional. But we have given away probably about 55 grants so far, totaling about 10,000. I have to check on that. We've given away about 55 grants to low-income patients, but if you have low-income cancer patients who are in need of finances, have them go through their social worker, nurse, or doctor. The information is also on our website, or they can contact me directly.
Thank you very
Keep up
much.
the good work, Rob.
That's great. I mean, that's obviously a type of community program everyone needs. And I think each congregation probably should have a long list of community support programs like this, just to help out.
Yes. And Dennis, we do have support groups for patients, and also for families impacted, and also for children who have cancer, children whose parents have cancer. So lots and lots of different support groups. I'm sorry for interrupting, Erica.
No. Thank you. We'll move on. Very timely. Thank you for keeping that short, Rob. I know that it's a very valuable presentation, but unfortunately, time was just a little issue today.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you all so much. Have very happy holidays to everybody. I really appreciate it. Keep up your great work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Happy holidays to you.
Bye.
Okay, we have Greg, who wanted to say just a few words on the other very big issue with the hunger problem. Greg, a few minutes, and then after that, we'll break out into our breakout groups.
Okay, and I'll keep this really brief. We have had, since I started working on the iCare program, some great food drives within faith communities, and it's warmed my heart, and sort of started thinking about the bigger problem, which is there's about 280,000 food insecure people in our county. It's a county where median family income is 101,000, and would love to, we're having a panel, which is, I'm really directing people's attention to Wednesday, January 6th at 7 p.m., a panel to kick off a campaign toward a comprehensive solution to this problem, and we look forward to everybody helping out.
Thank you
it's
very
in the
much.
event page. It's in the event listing, an Interfaith Food Insecurity Roundtable.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Greg. Also, we will now break out into a interfaith dialogue. Will is going to assign each one of us to a group, so you'll only be seeing the members in your group, and in that group you can all unmute yourself and start speaking on today's question or dialogue. Will, do you want to do an introduction of that?
Sure. Yes, it's in our agenda. Today is United Nations Human Rights Day, December 10th. And last year we did an educational event on Kashmir and the plight of the Uyghur Muslims in China. And this year we know that there is the largest protest in human history is occurring right now in India, with the new anti-democratic food laws that have been passed there, and so we want you to think about what are your top 2 or 3 human rights issues that you follow, that you research, that you advocate for on a regular basis, and why are those important to you? We want you to share that during our time. We're going to come back at 9:40 from our small groups, and we're going to have a report out. So make sure that one person in your group is a reporter and writing down what are the human rights issues that we all have. And you have to follow the link to join your room. Otherwise, you're going to stay in our main room here. So please do that. Take a look at the agenda, try to answer those questions as much as you can. And if you have one reporter that can report back at 9:40, we'll be bringing you back at 9:40. Thanks so much. Okello, are you there? Rodney? Sabra? Sabra, your group only has 2 people, so they need you to join. Can you hit the join button there? Okello, are you going to join a small group? Did you get a... You should have a button to join.
I'm not seeing join button. I'm not seeing it.
Did you get a join button, Okello?
I haven't yet.
Okay, let me assign you to a group. Let me get you in here with room 1. Here it comes. Did you get that?
Yeah, room 1.
You have to hit the join button for it to work. Good morning. Gusharan. We're in breakout groups talking about what are the most important human rights issues for us today. Can I put you into a small group to be able to share and talk about that with others? Can you hear me, Gusharan? Please unmute yourself. I can't hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Well,
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Let me put you in a small breakout room. We're talking about what are the most important human rights issues to us. And we talked briefly about the largest protests going on in India right now, especially for Sikh farmers. So I'm going to put you in a room with Kanwar Singh. Let me put you in room 4. And you just have to hit this button to join that room. And then I'm going to welcome everyone back to the larger group when we're done with our dialogue. Just hit that join button.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Since ages, all those the people used to recite Om and Om. Just I heard that seen that written over there as Om Shanti. But when Guru Nanak Sahib came, he went to meet the Siddhs, the people who were called yogis on that hill. And he discussed with them the meaning of Om. When they discussed with Guru Nanak about that Om and Om, what he said was, this is a Trida Rupa. Trida means it has 3 forms. One is Rajo, that is creation. One is Tamo, which is aggressiveness. And the last one is the Sato, which is coolness and well-being of the world and the families and all that stuff. And after telling them these 3 different ways of this Om, then he asked those people, he said, where is the God in this? Where is the Vaheguru in this word? And they were stunned to know this. And they couldn't answer that question. Then the question was coming is, then they asked Guru Nanak, why did you put 1 in front of Om? Why did you put it? So that's why he's concerned about that one. He said, Ik dekhya, ik manya, ik sunaya sarvot. Guru Nanak said, I have seen the only one God. I worship only one God. And I have heard him also. So that's why I am putting 1. And further, there is one Paisa by Gurdas, which is a renowned Sikh scholar. He has also written like this, Ek hi aneko, anek ek sarv mein. He said, the God is one and he is, from one he becomes so many. Then again he comes to become one. So it is he's playing a game like that, he said. Like they said, Ek Murt, Anek Darshan Keen Roop Anek. There is one God which we see, which everybody looks at it from different perspectives. Christians different look at it different perspective, Muslims, Hindus, and Sikhs, and everybody. But the God is only one. He says, Khel, 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 khel. He's playing the game in different forms, and ultimately he becomes one. Ant ko fir ek. Last time, at the end of it, he becomes one. Then he says, how do you establish this? He is one. He said, Guru Nanak Sahib said there are 3 different ways to establish him that he is one. One is Sajati. Sajati means of the same, you can say, as human race, we have only one human. Everywhere in the world, humans are only one. But there is nothing of that which is concerned with a God. Because he said, is God human? They said no. So that's why he said he is the only one. Then he says Vijati. Vijati means the alternative form of that concept. Like the humans, then we have the animals, then we have birds, fishes, and all that stuff. Then the Siddhs asked him, Guru Nanak Sahib then asked them, do you know if there is any form like that of the God? They said no. Then Guru Nanak Sahib said, yes, he is only one. Then there is the third one is the Swagat Ped. It means when we sow a seed, that the branches come out of it, they said that like that. Guru Nanak Sahib asked them, is there anything which is coming out of the God? They said there are 2 forms of God. One is the Nirgun, other is the Sargun. They said in Nirgun form, there is no such thing coming out of it. It is only in the Sargun. Sargun means the human form. That we see of the God, it comes out of him. So he said that is why the God is called one. So this is the concept, and Guru Nanak Sahib established with one Ik Oankar. Ik Oankar is the only one. In Sikhism, we say Sat Sri Akar. Sat means the truth. Sri means he is the only one. Akal means he never dies. So this concept clears us that he is the only one in the whole universe. He is the only creator of the whole universe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gursan Singh Ji. And I think in closing, we'll say happy holiday to all of you, whatever you're celebrating. Enjoy yourselves, stay safe, take some time to take care of yourself and your families and the communities. Our next elected council meeting will be on the 8th, right, Will? 8th of January. Hope to see you all there. Stay safe and good luck to
Happy
everyone.
solstice.
Welcome,
Thank
Bay
you.
Point Sikh Temple.
Thank you, everybody.
7th, January 7th.
Happy.
Second Thursday
you.
of January, 8:30
Second
a.m.
Thursday.
So that's January 14th.
Oh, 14th.
I thought it's
January
the
14th,
Okay, 14th.
8:30.
Wonderful. All right, see you all on the 14th then.
Be well, and if you're doing any food insecurity work, please join us on January 6th in the evening to talk about how we might work together better. Erica, did you get all the volunteers you need for next week's Food for Thought?
Yes, for Food for Thought, we actually do need some volunteers on Tuesday. Every other day we are sort of, we have too many. We do have Sikhs for Humanity that I have sent a little request to. Hopefully some of them can come and help us, but we could use some help on Tuesday at Temple Beth Halal at the synagogue on 801 Park Central Street in Richmond, where we'll be packing vegetables and produce and bread and other stuff in 2 big boxes, along with the 1,600 boxes we'll be distributing to schools on Wednesday, December 16th.
What time do you need volunteers on Tuesday?
So especially at Temple Beth Halal between 1 till 4. Normally we are much more organized when it comes to packing, but what's happening right now is that some of our supplies, bread especially, because of COVID and whatnot and social distancing, is getting there a little late. So between 1 to 4 on Tuesday, December 15th, if anyone can come to Temple Beth Halal. The problem is that because of social distancing and also because of COVID protocols, no one will be allowed unless you have signed in and sent a waiver for yourself. So for that reason, if anyone can come, they have to send me an email or foodforthought@.org in Temple Beth Hello, or me, because that'd be easiest way to get the waiver form. Only when you're on the list and already checked in and your waiver is in, will they allow you to enter the building to do the packing, which is making things very complicated.
Okay. So that's a big food distribution for Richmond Unified School District families.
It's
for the Christmas
basically
break.
400 families. It serves people's meal needs, food needs for 2.5 weeks, and up to 2,000 people that are fed for those 2 weeks. So definitely a project worth doing, and yet it's very complicated. And my back is already hurting, so we'll see how that goes.
Gotcha. All right, everybody. Thanks for staying and have a great week. Talk to you soon. Be well.
Thank you. Thank you, Paramveer Singh. It was very nice of you to join us today, and the Bay Point Gurdwara.
Welcome, Paramveer.